Hello, my name is Katja and you are warmly welcome to my channel. You may see something that I haven't had in my living room before, and that's the loom. I decided to start a new project series. I'm going to make a Finnish national costume from Askola. This costume is from the early 19th century. It has a skirt, vest, a shirt, and an apron, and also a jacket that I may add later. It also features a silk cap and lace that goes under the cap. I already started this project a few weeks ago. I am going to weave the fabric for my skirt and for my vest, because I first wanted to weave a fabric for a skirt anyway, and also because the skirt fabric isn't actually available. So I have been already weaving a lot, and the skirt fabric is almost done, but I still have to weave the fabric for my vest. Meanwhile, I have been making a shirt, and I also have the apron fabric ready, and that doesn't take long for me to finish. First, let me tell something about Finnish national costumes and where they come from.
Finland doesn't have a single national costume. Instead, different regions of Finland have their own costumes that are based on Finnish folk garments from the 18th and 19th century. The total number of costumes is around 400, half of which belong to the Swedish-speaking Finns. Many people select their costumes according to their family origins, but one can choose costume also based on aesthetics or any other reason. Also, there are areas of the country, my birthplace included, that doesn't have costumes associated to them. The national costumes were born in the last years of the 19th century. At that time, the folk garments had mostly gone out of style and everyone had started wearing fashionable clothing. The national romanticism made Finnish intelligentsia interested in everything Finnish folk culture related. Students were hired to go around the country collecting garments that still existed. The first national costumes were made in 1885 to celebrate the visit of the Tsar Nicholas III of Russia and his wife Emperor Maria Feodorovna. The Empress was given a boat, and the boat was delivered by women rowers that each wore a folk costume from different parts of Finland, which at that time was an autonomic Grand Duchy of Russia. This was actually a clever political stunt arranged by Finnish women to highlight the difference between the Finnish and the Russian culture. The Käsitelty supplement to the Finnish feminist Koti and Yhteiskunta magazine published color pictures and descriptions of the first national costumes. These were put together by Dr. Theodor Schwind, who later authored the first catalogue of national costumes. By the 1930s, the national costumes that originally were mainly a hobby of educated city residents had reached all levels of society. Here is my grandma Sylvie wearing her national costume at the garden and here with her schoolmates. Many of the costumes were commercially made. One often held belief is that the different parts of the costumes were originally donated to the museum at the same time. However, this is not always the case. The costumes are often constructed by taking garments that originally belonged to different people. Sometimes the costume designers haven't had a specific garment from the area and they have then chosen a garment from another nearby area. Furthermore, like people nowadays, the people in the old days owned several different skirts, blouses, jackets and vests. How peculiar would it have been if everyone in the village had worn similar clothes? During the years, there has been many different opinions on how the costumes should be made. How closely should they resemble extant garments? The current fashions had their influence on the cut and length of the costumes, and some of the costumes were completely designed with no historical roots whatsoever. Nowadays, all the new costumes are created after careful study of extant garments, and old costumes may be updated to better correspond to the historical examples. The design of new and updated costumes have to be accepted by the panel of experts called Kansallispukuraati. I have been thinking of making a national costume for some years now. However, the size and price of the project was intimidating at first. However, after I got a proper loom and made a simple scarf, I started thinking of weaving my own skirt fabric. It would be so cool to sew a garment using fabric that I made with my own hands. I realized that this would be a perfect opportunity to hit two birds with one stone. If I wove my own fabric for my national costume, the costume would be even more special and I could cut down the price quite a bit. I spent a lot of time looking at images of different costumes before settling on the costume from Askola. Askola costume was first built in 1913 by the Society of Finnish Folk Dancers. The second version of the dress was then constructed in 1936. The current and the final version of Askola costume was created in 1988 when the costume went through a big update process. The pattern is sold by Taito Etelä-Suomi and I got permission to post these pictures. Askola dress consists of a skirt, vest, apron, long shirt and a cap. The black wool jacket is shared with several national costumes in the same area. This display of Kreeta's church-going outfit from Askola Monninjärvi village belonged to Finnish National Museum. The mannequin wears the extant skirt and a vest that the Askola costume is based on. The shirt is very similar but lacks some of the decorative elements that the shirt that was chosen for the costume has. I believe that these two shirts were still donated to the museum at the same time as their catalogue numbers are next to each other. Also, the apron and the cap are different, probably due to the condition of the original items. The Finnish Crafts Museum, which accounts for all research related to the national costumes, kindly sent me photos of the rest of the extant garments that Askola costume is based on. I warmly thank National Costume Specialist Taina Kangas for providing me with the pictures and some info on these items. In following videos we will look at these items in even more detail, but let's now just get the basic idea of the basis for this costume. Let's start with the shirt. The shirt is made out of densely woven linen. The body of the shirt is rectangular with a rectangular neck opening. The collar is starched up and it shows some patching. The lace at the edge of the collar is frayed a lot. There should be a drawstring hidden at the lower edge of the collar seam that can be used to adjust the size of the neckline. The sleeves are voluminous and the lower part of the shirt is made out of coarser linen fabric. The skirt is hand-woven in satin weave. The farp is linen and the weft is carded wool. The fabric is woven tight so that the weft completely disappears. I love the lively colors. Red, green, blue, white and dark red. The upper edge of the hem is made out of linen and pleated into the narrow waistband. The vest is made out of similar fabric as the skirt. The only difference is the stripe pattern and that instead of dark red color, the vest features salmon pink color. The vest is fitted and the front of the vest has a hidden cord closure. The stripe pattern forms a pretty V shape at the back. The back of the vest also features a horizontal dart that improves the fit and a bunch of typical pleated ruffles called körtti in Finnish. The apron is very lightweight, commercially made gauze cotton with a pattern of stripes and flowers. It shows a lot of damage. The apron doesn't have any fastenings. These kinds of aprons were fastened to the waist with the help of cotton ribbons that were threaded through the loops at the upper corners. The finest part of the costume is undoubtedly the French cap made out of embroidered silk. Finnish commoners were subjected to numerous sumptuary laws restricting the use of silk and other expensive materials. The common women were allowed silk only in a small cap and a scarf. This cap has faded a lot, but if you look at the back of the cap you can see a hint of red. The back of the cap was usually covered by a big silk bow, which is now missing but which undoubtedly has preserved the color. Women would have worn their hair in a bun, then pinned a strip of lace to the bun and then finally added this cap to the top. So join me as I work my way through this big project by subscribing to my channel. If you like my videos and want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee through the link below. Warm thanks to everyone who have donated me money. See you soon with another video. Bye!